Hi everybody, I hope you guys are doing great today. These are going to be general messages for everyone, but I'm going to be first starting with astrology and then I'm going to be going right into your sign. Guys, the timestamp is below. If you don't want to listen to the astrology, no worries. I have the timestamp below and you could just jump right into the tarot. For those of you who want to hear what's going on in the sky, okay, let's get right into it. So this time period is going to be covering from the 10th to the 23rd. And I'm doing that because I have a very, very busy schedule, so I'm not going to be able to, do a separate reading for next week. But let's go right into the big stuff that's happening. Now, I know it's going to start on the 10th, and I ended the last reading on the 9th, but I really want to just mention again that this weekend, the full moon is happening in Leo on the 9th, and we're going to be feeling like an urgent, sudden, or overwhelming desire to express ourselves. We're going to be made aware of our needs, like our need to create, to express, and just very much get in touch with what we need in our romantic lives at this point. Something is exposed or illuminated, really pushing us to get in touch with those things in our personal lives that we may have been like neglecting or putting off up until now. So this is particularly spontaneous time. So this weekend, especially Sunday. So like some epiphanies, some come to Jesus moments. That's a forward-looking time, right? As this gets together with Mars and all the major bodies are direct. So there's a lot of energy that's very focused this weekend. So just make sure that we all communicate in a very loving way. This is a really nice energy. It's good. But remember, it's Leo. So you want to make sure that, and there's nothing wrong with Leo. I love my Leos. But when there's so much energy in this concentrated space, you want to make sure that what you're meaning to communicate in the name of constructive criticism doesn't come off as hurtful, when that's not at all what you intended to. And if you feel like you're getting that from somebody, just kind of like stop and drop for a second and say, okay, wait, did you mean to say that? Right? Because let's not forget what we have, with Mercury, Pisces, all this very foggy kind of energy going on, right? So you just want to make sure to double check. But this is a really, really beautiful energy, guys. Seriously beautiful. Really good. Okay, and the Mercury is going to be turning retrograde on the 16th. And that's going to be stagnant because it really doesn't go backwards. I think a lot of us know that, but it's for those, we're all at a different space in our journey here. So it's more like it kind of hangs out stagnant while we all move, right? So it's going to be stagnant until March 9th. So with Mercury retrograde in Pisces and then later Aquarius, this is a strong period for getting in touch with our ideals and what we believe to be the truest versions of ourselves. So we may be more able to tap into our inner muse, right, that I mentioned last time, and really come up with especially inventive ideas to push us forward in the best possible way. The thing is here, while Mercury is retrograde in Pisces from the 16th until March 4th, we can feel especially foggy, right, that I was just talking about, or unclear when it comes to facts and figures. So if you're doing anything that requires like calculations, negotiations, I know a lot of us are getting our taxes ready right now. Anything of that nature, if you're dealing with any sort of contract, any sort of deal, negotiation, go over it really carefully. It's not that you can't do it, just go over it really carefully, because then you may end up finding out later that it wasn't at all what you actually thought it was initially. That you thought the agreement or the deal or whatever it was looked a lot different. All right, so just go over it super carefully. Now, retrograde Mercury aligns with the Sun on the 25th, right? And I know it's a little past this point, but I just want to mention it, bringing and emphasizing light to our thoughts, because we're going to be feeling it a little bit before the 23rd. It's a great time for processing events and ideas, things that just have gone on, things that you have cooking in your mind, and for beginning to look at problems or issues from a new perspective and with a fresher and new understanding. Okay, now going back to the 20th, we have Jupiter forming in a sextile to Neptune. So we're able to check in with our needs for imagination and dreams or spirituality even, helping us moderate some of the more extreme expressions of Jupiter and Capricorn transit, right? Because remember, Capricorn's ruled by Saturn, right? As you have Jupiter wants to just be like, let's go, and then we have Saturn in there Like, all right, we got to put in the hard work, you know? So we're able to incorporate and manage our expectations and our faith and our dreams in this energy. It helps us to maintain a sense of balance and grounding, right? Like Saturn's going to help us stay grounded while we want to like float away with Jupiter. And we're going to be considering our morals, our spiritual values, you know, and what we really want for ourselves as we push forward on our path. So it's a time for connecting with idealistic and just things that we believe are for our highest good and for the good of the other people who we care about in our life. You know, we're going to be making connections with people who are different from us, learning from their perspectives, and really widening our experiences and broadening our minds at this point. So this could just be, you know, meeting a couple of new friends, going someplace different, but you're going to find this idea of other that's going to be very active at that time. And then we have the new moon on the 23rd, energizing the sign of Pisces. This brings a fresh start to everything. It really does, guys. We're being shaken awake to the need for a new vision in our life, especially in the area of our spirituality, right? And like, what does that even mean, right? It's we're going to be feeling in the deepest way what's best for us, what our deepest desires are. Where have we been lying to ourselves? Because it's time to revitalize ourselves through experiences that require us to do things differently, through imagination, through compassion, in a different way than we've been doing things. And many of us are going to just be very cognizant in this, right? Really cognizant in putting certain things behind us in order to begin anew, whether it's that relationship, whether it's that job, whether it's making that final decision and just being okay with that, right? So this is really, really good. This new moon is particularly interesting to me since it does speak with Mars and Uranus. So it's like a really cool conversation going on here between these guys. And it's suggesting it's very forward focused and encouraging change, but is moving toward retrograde Mercury, which does suggest a look back. So that Mars is aligning with the South Node also indicates that we're seeing where, what, or who we've been over attached to, you know? In this rear view mirror. And most of us will feel especially focused and determined to work through past issues so that we can move forward in the healthiest and the lightest way. So yeah, I mean, those are the big things that are going on in the sky, guys, through the 23rd. Now let's go pull the cards for your sign. Hi, Pisces. I hope you guys are doing great today. So let's get right into your general messages. Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for the 10th to the 23rd of February. Hope you guys are doing great today. As remember, these are general messages. Don't try to make them fit. If they don't fit, there's no value in that, okay? Might not be your message. That's okay. Take a seed of thought. Maybe get you thinking, and that's awesome too. All right, and also the energies can absolutely be vice versa, but that's always the case in tarot. And do check your rising sign, moon sign, or Venus sign, especially your Venus sign, especially your rising sign, rather. All right, let's see what kind of healing oracle that we can get for any advice for Pisces, anything they need to work on, think about. Soulmate, nice, very nice. Beautiful. Open your heart. Open your heart. Your soulmate is not far from you, Pisces. To connect with them, you need to open your heart and really call them in and have patience. If you're not ready to accept your soulmate right now, keep working on self-love. Some of you may have a soulmate right now that you feel is with you. And this just is encouraging you to maintain a sense of groundedness and stay very, very open to any of the lessons that you need to learn with this individual. And you're going to be drawn to your soulmate, for those of you who haven't, right? Very much like a magnet. It's kind of like that kind of thing. And feel this immense sense of familiarity. You know what I mean? Like you feel like, oh, they could kind of like almost be like a member of my family. Not in a weird way, but you know, I feel like I've met you before kind of thing. Your capacity to love is definitely going to increase dramatically because of this individual. And you're going to learn and experience a much higher let's say state of consciousness. It sounds very dramatic, but just a fuller heart, right? And just a greater appreciation for life and everything that you're doing, you know? It's because no one can touch your heart in the same way that a soulmate can. They just can't. And I do believe we do have more than one in our lifetime, but you know the definitive difference, right? When you have a friend that's a really solid soulmate, like you just have that connection. We even feel that with like siblings and stuff, right? If we're lucky, and certainly, obviously, in intimate situations as well. But, you know, it's important to mention while we're on the topic is that, your soulmate is not necessarily going to be a partner, right? I mean, he or she can come in a completely different form than you've imagined, but they're going to offer you this incredible wisdom and growth and just ability to expand yourself, So be aware that when we connect, though, with our soulmates, when we need to be very ready for this. I didn't think about how I wanted to say that. You need to be very ready to truly evolve, right? And move to that next level within your life and within your life experience. As we attract them into our lives, and we need to open up our hearts fully and learn about unconditional love. So for some of you, it's definitely going to be, an intimate other. Others of you, it's going to be a really close friend, or, somebody like a business partner, where you have this sort of shared goal and you have this idea of familiarity and acceptance. And it's just really beautiful. And some of you might even have a soulmate who's from your past, but you were not ready to accept them into your life because you were still tending to some wounds that you had in the past, right? So there can be this, because that's super common, right? So we can't control the timing of these things. And that's always part of the lessons and all of that too. All right, so let's get your message that is the gift for the week with some qualifiers, and then we'll sweep that and get to your challenge of the week, and then we'll do love at the end, okay? Nine of Swords. Okay, so the gift here is some anxiety, and that, you know what? So many of the signs are getting that. It's so interesting to me. Yeah. Okay, gotcha. All right, straight away, I'm just going to pull another 4. No, Pisces, you have a lot to say. I'm getting the whole story here. Hold on. Okay. Okay, so you're coming into this, the crowning energy is the 9 of Swords. I mean, I call this the 3 a.m. card. Those of you who've been watching me know that. This is deep anxiety. This is some sort of, could be depression. It's intrusive thoughts that can get in your head, like that little hamster wheel, 3 a.m. Or even when you're trying to work and focus on your stuff during the day, and it's like this, why did that happen? Why did I do that? Why did they do that? What are they doing now? Kind of like that obsession kind of thing. And it's certainly that kind of energy, but something happening that was some sort of truth that was deeply, deeply disturbing to you. Deeply, deeply disturbing, okay? That's creating this sense of anxiety. And you're entering this time feeling like you had the world and you no longer have it. So, Pisces, I'm sorry. This is a Saturn energy, and this is this recognition that everything that you thought, something happened. Somebody prevented this from happening. Somebody else got in the way. There was this external energy. This could just be, if this has to do with work, this could be like the business going out, or somebody else being picked for a position, you just not being treated in the way that you thought you should be treated. Like you thought things were way different. You really, really did. You thought something was very, very different. You were very happy on this trajectory that you were on. But then something happened and it got in the way. And then the cycle ended, the 10 of Swords. And this is painful when it's in the reverse, absolutely. This is a Mercury and Virgo energy. This is a double communication card. This is information coming in and it being very, very painful for you. Okay? So, and this could even be self-communication, guys. This could even be you realizing, having these epiphanies inside your own mind about something that, this job that you were in, this relationship that you were involved in, was just not going to end up working out the way that you thought, and the cycle needed to be over. And it put you into this hermit reverse energy, which is you weren't really even talking to anybody. You were being very reclusive here in this energy. You might have been in a room with 100 people every second of the day, but you were like alone in your own mind having to do with this issue. You just really weren't talking about it, as you were very much trying to deal with the fact that, you know, it was the death energy is a cycle ending, but then there's a next cycle beginning. So this coming to terms with the fact that however something was with a person, with a job, with a situation, it was no longer going to be able to go back to that. It just wasn't going to be able to go back to that, right? I mean, this is a Pluto energy. So this is about, okay, boom, it's done, right? And this is not comfortable. I mean, Nine of Swords makes sense to me there, absolutely. And then we go into the Seven of Swords, and this is in reverse. So this is telling me that somebody's mask came off, somebody's mask. Somebody was presenting themselves to be a certain way to you, and their mask fell straight off, right down to the ground. And the Seven of Swords energy is the card of thievery. And what are we talking about here? I mean, we have swords here. Swords are words and swords are truth. So if somebody's coming in and stealing the truth, there's also conflict here. This can be the type of arguing where there's gaslighting and deflection and disrespectful behavior, right? But this is you seeing like, oh my God, I never saw that the person was like this before. I thought they were one way and they are totally not that way. And I'm trying, I got to process this now. And then we have the Two of Pentacles in reverse energy. And this is like, all right, now what? You know, now like the Two of Pentacles is a, oh my God, now what? This is a Jupiter and Capricorn energy. So Jupiter is all about luck and expansion. And Capricorn is about putting in the hard work to make that luck and expansion happen, right? That's in the upright. You figuring out, okay, which path am I going to go on to, you know, to really be able to embrace that Jupiter energy where I feel connected and I feel supported and I have that mental, emotional, and physical connection, and you can't make it. It's like a paralyzing kind of fear because you're really trying, at this point, you're really trying to unknot the fact of how disrespected you feel and really trying to process the fact that you're not going to have victory with this person and that you're not actually going to have this new beginning. This new beginning that you thought you were going to have. You thought you were going to have the world energy with them. You did. Everything was sort of like lining up for you to have that. Right now, you're in the process of just like really unknotting everything. It's really unknotting, right? And then we get to the third row. We have the Knight of Swords. And now we have Knight of Swords in the upright. So I like this much better. This is a Taurus and Gemini energy. And Taurus, again, is ruled by Venus. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. So there's communication going on here, having to do with something in the Venusian space. So this could have to do with money, right? Information coming in about money for you. So somebody offering you a new job. This could have to do with meeting somebody new, hearing from somebody, because it's a Gemini energy. Some of you might be dealing with a Gemini, but Gemini is about communication, right? So there's communication coming in, right? And it being like this new kind of truth being offered to you, this new something. And then you're able to have this new beginning in this heart space with this Knight of Swords information. So this could be a brand new beginning at work in a new job. This could be a brand new beginning in a relationship. Yeah, brand new relationship. But this is you like left. I mean, you like gone from that old energy. Just knowing that it's toxic and you just want to move more towards, you know, a more defined truth for you. Then we have the Eight of Cups in the upright. Yeah, I mean, you're leaving. And this is like you're gone here. Saturn and Pisces, you're just going towards like your dreamy self. You know? I mean, that's what it is. Saturn's ruled by, you know, Saturn's ruled by Pluto. Saturn's ruled by Saturn. You know, Saturn's a great taskmaster about really putting in the hard work. And Pisces is ruled by Neptune. So it's like doing that hard work to get towards what it is that really feeds that dreamy space. And really something that makes you feel, like really feel accepted and understood and just for you, just for being you. Bumps and all, but you know, bumps, warts and all, as they say, right? Just you, the totality of Pisces, you walking towards that. And because you're recognizing it's with a heavy heart that you're turning around and walking away, but you're walking towards the luminary of the moon, and you're walking towards a space that speaks to you greater, because this is moon walking towards, rather towards the water, which you guys are the eldest water sign. So you're walking toward something that's far more true for you. But it's this anxiety that's sort of prompting this processing through of everything. You're forcing yourself to think about everything. You're forcing yourself. And the thing is, as you force yourself, every layer that you look at and every layer of honesty just pulls that wall down a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, so that these energies can come in and you can get the benefit from this new beginning. Yeah, I don't get that you're starting over with this, like this recent person. Now, because the Knight of Swords is a messenger energy, this could be somebody from the past, okay, who you were with before, or it coming in from something new. But I don't get that this is in your current right now, where you're at right now. Right. Okay, so something nice is coming in for you. I hope it's your soulmate. I mean, I hope that reading was for that layer, right? Because that's just for the whole reading. So that's the gift. Okay. It's a nice gift. It looks like it's going to be a little bit of a go to get through it, but that's okay. That's okay. Gotta get, you know, you have to cross the street to get to the other side, right? As they say. Sometimes it's not comfortable. Okay, let's get this challenge. Shadow side. So it's equivalent to the devil energy. Okay. And this is going to be the challenge that you have to deal with. Okay. Yeah. I almost feel like this is a continuation because we have the Six of Swords. You're going. Okay. So there's going to be, and why do I feel like this kind of keeps coming up for you guys? There is this idea of imbalance, Pisces. I mean, I have to just say what comes out, right? I mean, the shadow side is the devil energy. What is the devil energy? As I always say, it is the level of imbalance in any area. It could be addiction to drinking, to pills, to food, to gambling, to sex, to it could be on the other end of the spectrum with food, where it's some sort of eating disorder, anxiety, depression, fear of intimacy, you know, anything like that, where it's like instead of the scales being balanced, and nobody's scales are balanced all the time. I mean, that's illogical, right? But it's like this constant, the scales are way too tipped, where it is a definitive issue. And this is a challenge for you, okay, during this time period where you have to really be honest if you're not maybe either abusing, you know, alcohol, drugs, food, whatever, or being way anxious, way excessive in your fears, to the point of it really being like the cyclical self-sabotaging behavior. This is not an easy energy to work through. But I am getting that some of you might be in that space as a way of self-medicating, because you are moving away from something that was considered very toxic to a space that's healthier, which is awesome. But I'd be lying if I said that this is easy, because this is something that you did believe in at one point and you really wanted to work. But right now you're in this space of feeling very, a real sense of lack, like your voice is not heard. Your voice is not being heard. You don't feel like you're being supported, mental, physical, emotional. There's like this lack of connection, this lack of connection. Now, the hardest part of all of this for you, though, is just accepting the fact that you're not going to have victory in that situation, and the level of disrespect that you feel, because you feel highly disrespected. But the outcome energy here is the strength upright. So it's, even though you're uncomfortable and even though you're scared, you feel vulnerable inside, you are going to push yourself to move forward. But you really need to do this, and you need this strength in order to look at whatever this imbalance is, because this will end up serving to be an issue for you in this dynamic. Okay? So there is definitely this coming to terms with some sort of devil energy. Now, Pisces, if it's not you, it could certainly be you having to have, dealt with that with this person or with this bot, whatever it is. The shadow side can also be indicated as far as career goes when it comes to being way too obsessed with money. Way too obsessed. It's like your money, your eyes are a little too focused on that for it to be healthy. Or you can be dealing with a boss who's just a little too obsessed with money on that end, and they're working you to the bone and they're not appreciating you. Any sense of imbalance in there, you're not getting along quite right with your coworkers, things just being a little wonky at work, and you just want to get the hell out of Dodge. You don't want to deal with it because you feel very unsupported. You're not getting what you need. You feel very disrespected, and like it's not the space that you're going to be able to evolve really in a healthy way for the rest of your path. You know what I mean? So this is you like really getting the strength up to make a change for yourself. But I think this process of feeling disrespected and feeling like you want to move away from this level of imbalance is the challenge for the week. All right, so that's what we have for that. Now let's get into the love, for those of you open to that. Okay. Now this doesn't have to have anything to do with the gift of the challenge. Pull one more. I've been pulling 3, and then we'll pull the Time Wellness. Secret Admirer. Oh, Pisces. You're kind of like what I was vibing. Isn't that funny? Secret Admirer. Someone has deeper feelings for you than they're letting on. All right, let's see what it says. Hold on. Get this going. One more. Then we'll pull a good tarot. Chaser. Soulmates. The Golden Mirror. Self-absorbed. Narcissist. Love bombing. Chaser in a codependent relationship, fear of abandonment issues. Okay, so you may not always understand why certain things happen. However, there is always a higher purpose to the events in your life. Through turmoil, a blessing will soon be revealed. We have the Chaser. Chaser in a codependent relationship, fear of abandonment issues. And then we have Justice, about what's fair. So what's fair in that dynamic, Because often if we know that we have this tendency, it is more fair to just sort of let sleeping dogs lie if we're not going to be able to be in something that could best serve us. But in the same way, do have to note that the Justice card is a Libra energy, which is ruled by Venus. So this is about everything like Venusian. So it's this tugging at your heartstrings. It's this idea of really trying to understand any sense of codependency or fear of abandonment that you might be nursing. And it's hard to admit that. When I say that, I get a lot of people, I can't tell you how many people I get where they get very reactive when they hear the reading, and they will respond with a comment, how dare you say that or whatever. Like, I'm not personally attacking anybody, right? This is just the cards, right? But I wish I had a nickel for every time I would then get a later message apologizing that they were honest with themselves for a minute. Because you know what? I think it gets a bad rap. I don't think it's that uncommon. It's not. I deal with a lot of people. Let me tell you, codependent issues are super common. They just are. And it's not anybody's fault. It's really not. You can't blame anybody because those ideas are made like early in childhood. I'm just being exposed to some unhealthy environments or ones that just weren't really the best for us. Next one, he says, don't make decisions based on guilt or what you think you should do. Yeah, Pisces, did you hear that? Because you guys do tend to do that, right? For it is only in being true to yourself that you can be true to others, right? You guys are so giving all the time, right? But you have to think about what works for you. We have soulmate, soul connection, partnership, agreement, soul contract. And then we have love. I mean, really? Look at this center row. Beautiful. Love. Love, love and acceptance. This is just about love and acceptance. Working through these codependency issues in a way to not only be fair to yourself, but be fair to the people who you end up getting involved with. And if you tend to be somebody who attracts codependence to you, you need to understand what it is about your energy that might create that magnet, right, within your energy field. And then we have secret admirer. Someone has deeper feelings for you than they're letting on. We have golden mirror, self-absorbed narcissist, one-sided relationship, love bombing. We have two of fire. This is a two of wands energy, Mars and Aries. This is all about, come on, let's go, let's go. All right, but what I'm getting here is that if there is some sort of secret admirer, hold on. Oh, yeah. Okay, listen, whoever the secret admirer is, if they come forth and they're like, oh, you know, I've had all of these feelings for you, I really would not go near them with a 10-foot pole, because this is going to be a bad energy for you. This is somebody who's very self-absorbed, narcissistic. You're going to end up in a one-sided relationship. So you don't want to go like from the fire into the frying pan here. So I feel like there's going to be this tendency to want to like pull yourself out of this because you're so afraid of this middle row. You find out that somebody likes you, and then you end up entertaining them as a way of pulling yourself away from the feelings for somebody else. That's going to end up falling on your face, because it's just, there might be some passion there and attraction, because we have this fire energy here, but it's going to end up being a bad thing for you. It's not going to be a good thing for you. And that is something that somebody with a codependent situation would do. Instead of letting them feel the pain, they like will go out and just try to monkey vine, right? You know, like, let me just go and try to hook up into another relationship to ease this pain, you know? Yeah. You want to just be careful of that, because you might be missing a nugget of gold in all of this while you are seeking out making yourself feel better. Queen of water, Five of earth, transformation. Yeah. Yep. Pisces, I have to tell you what I'm getting. Queen of water, I mean, this is Queen of Cups. This is somebody who just speaks to your home space, who feels like home to you. This is somebody who feels like home to you, who helps you to not feel disconnected, who you never felt lonely with. This is somebody from your past. Oh, I know, I could hear the messages already. If this is somebody from your past who was a crazy-ass narcissist and you don't want anything to do with them, then don't engage. If the opportunity arises, and this may not be your reading, but for somebody, we got a transformation energy here, guys. Transformation, we talk about Pluto, right? That's about death and rebirth. So some unhealthy way of being is going to be birthed into a healthier way of being, because there was some sort of connection with this person, made you feel good. You felt good with them. We have the Nine of Fire, which is like, I've been through so much with this person, but I'm not done yet. I still have fire in my belly for them. Right? This is you getting really honest with yourself, guys. This is a Moon and Sagittarius energy. In that Moon energy, that's where we get really honest with ourselves about those stories, those narratives that are buried deep under the trunk in our subconscious that we're letting up, right? And we're going to use that information to move ourselves forward in a healthier way, because we're hiding this stuff for an unhealthy reason. Messenger of fire, I mean, you are really getting front and center with the fact that you feel a lot of passion and that this is something that you do want, and you want a new beginning with this person. You want a new beginning with this person because this person is your soulmate. And Pisces, I have to tell you, I feel like many of you, if this is resonating in any way, have been trying to run from it, trying to make every excuse in the book, I'm not even saying excuse because that sounds very negative. Obviously, there were issues that were at play here in this connection that felt very real to you, that made you feel disrespected, that made you feel like you weren't going to be able to move forward. But I'm getting that it was because of very poor communication, and I just don't feel like everybody, like you and this other person, I don't feel like you guys have the correct information. And I just feel like there's absolutely going to be this communication coming in. But don't let yourself get sucked away by somebody who's a secret admirer, because that is a narcissistic energy. Don't allow that, because that's not good for you. You're going to end up worse off if you end up entertaining that. I don't know if that makes sense for you guys, but that is what came through. Yeah, Pisces, that is what I have for you guys. I will see you guys next time. You guys take care. Bye-bye.